Guys are very polished. They're not afraid to take a walk. They're battling up there. That's something I like to see. I think the game has gotten away a little bit over the last decade or so where people don't care about a strikeout. What we're seeing here today, including that last at-bat by Mitchell, was he was up there battling with 2 strikes. He made some adjustments, shortened up his stroke, and now there's first and second.
Ralph Suarez visits and has a conversation. Legendary head coach out of Doral Academy High School. Coach Gabby Sanchez, you might know that name. Gabby Sanchez, who has had a nice big league career, won 4 state championships at Brito High School. Being selected, and throughout the evening we will mention all of the coaches that pitch in. There is a head coach, but they're all kind of head coaches. Being selected, a real prized possession for these coaches.
Oh, no doubt. We've known Ralph in the Perfect Game community for 15 years. He works our events. He's one of the best batting practice pitchers in the country, and just somebody who loves baseball. Most importantly, loves the kid, and I know he's very happy to be here in San Diego.
MJ Melendez committed to Florida International because his father, as Ralph looks on, his father a coach as well. His father Mervell, who has almost 600 collegiate wins, came from Alabama State, where he had an undefeated season in the SWAC. Bethune-Cookman before that. And Mervell Melendez, his mom Aixa. And MJ, we'll see if he makes it to college. He's the #2 catcher in the United States. Very, very smooth. Look at him moving around the batter's box.
I think he was thinking ahead right there. He's looking for something in. You saw him kind of scooch back a little bit, probably just 4 or 5 inches. And we're talking about left-handed hitting catchers. We've got 3 of them here.
Yeah, 3 out of the 4 catchers in this game are left-handed hitting.
Burns with a breaking ball, pulled to the right side. The ball was up. It's into right field for a base hit. Big arm from the outfield, fired in by Jordan Adele. There's those tools, but a nice piece of hitting. And I'm sure Mr. Burns will tell you, I overthrew that one a little bit. It looks a little bit better, Val, when it's up.
Yeah, it looks like he tried to do a little bit too much with it. But Melendez does a nice job right here of hooking his ball into the hole. You saw that ball just kind of roll up towards home plate. Didn't have that good bite that he was looking for, but finds the hole on the right side and drives in a run.
Yeah, Melendez is usually a young man who will go to hit to all fields, and that would normally be, a pitch that he might hit the left field, but he has been pulling the ball a little more this summer. It's almost a matter of confidence, and he certainly executed there.
Burns fires a fastball at 91 over the outside corner to Ben Ramirez. Now, you heard a big round of applause because Ben's from Chula Vista, California, just south of San Diego. East Lake High School. He, too, a member of the California Baseball Academy CBA John Pano squad. Had a chance to spend time with Cassandra and Ricardo, mom and dad. Brother Luke is of Little League World Series fame a couple of years back here. Breaking ball, and that one is rolled foul off the bat of Ben Ramirez.
Yeah, Ben's a little different than most Southern Californian infielders. The cliche in baseball is you get these very polished middle infielders who've played a lot. Physically the tools aren't maybe always high level, but a whole lot of big leaguers who played high school baseball in Southern California. Ramirez is he's a 6'3", 180-pound projection type player who's going to get bigger as he gets more physically mature.
Fastball up, beat him. The Cole Brandon play is fired in on a hop, so the runner stays put heading down the third base line, and Cole turning. So Ben Ramirez, one of many USC commits in this game. Tell us about the arm of Cole Brandon, David.
Well, Cole Brandon, he can play all 3 outfield positions. It isn't a plus arm, but it's a solid 50 on the pro scouting scale. And of course, we know how important it is to be accurate with your throws as well. And he's a very fundamentally sound player.
Brandon has been seen, including tonight, 23 times by Perfect Game scouts. 1 of 5 in his house, and a very successful family. Leanne, his mom, Jared, his dad, for the left fielder. In the outfitting business his family does, and as a car dealership, and he always raves about how they're able to juggle that all together. This is Jacob Gonzalez. He had to juggle things because his dad was gone a lot. Luis Gonzalez looking on. He's made it clear that this is the Diamondbacks legend. I'm Jacob's dad this week. I'm not Luis Gonzalez. Tough pitch to deal with, 0-2. And Val, you feel for that, right? You understand
that? I do. I know exactly what Luis is going through. In fact, I was talking to him at the hotel lobby there today. He has a hard time, as I did as a dad, watching your son play because for a former player, you're so used to being in control of things, and when your boy's up there,
hey,
he's going to be happy dad today.
Rocket shot into left field. He has had an incredible summer. Jacob Gonzalez was the MVP of Perfect Game's 17U World Series. His T-Rex squad won it, and Jacob Gonzalez plates a pair with an RBI single.
Yeah, he is on the short list for one of the most improved players nationally this summer. He's gotten stronger, and I think, and this is something I've talked to Gonzo about, I think Jacob has begun to understand hitting now. He used to be such a pull-oriented guy. He sees the ball better, and he recognizes what pitches he can hit. He got a pitch he could pull and knew what to do with it, though, there.
And did you see him give the little horn frog signal right there?
That's exactly right. He's a TCU commit. He's at Chaparral High School. That's down the street from me, so I have to mention it. We did mention he plays for Rex Gonzalez, Uncle Rex. T-Rex, one of the best travel ball clubs west of the Mississippi, really in the state of Arizona, far and away #1, and a great all-around kid. Very involved in his Miracle League locally, and at Chaparral High School involved in helping out a lot in need. Jason Gonzalez is out of Covina, California. Number 40 on the back of that sharp Nike jersey. He's a Vanderbilt commit, which means he's killing it in the classroom. He attends Bishop Amat.
And usually you think, okay, these are all Americans. They're some of the best baseball players in the country. I'm not sure Jason Gonzalez even ranks in his family athletically. His brother plays football at Utah. His sister is a star softball player at Cal State Fullerton. That's an athletic family there.
Sister Alexis. So you're playing it forward from last night. We gave him a hard time at the banquet. I have the good fortune of helping out with the banquet, and we gave Jason a hard time when we interviewed his sister, and not him at the banquet. Sister Alexis hit .325, all Big West catcher at Cal State Fullerton. Rolls that one to the right side. You know what that'll do? That will play to run. And a fielder's choice ground out, and another run. As the West squad on top by a score of 4, and I think MJ Melendez come on down. They get Gonzalez, Jacob Gonzalez, on a ground out. And so Jason Gonzalez is on with an RBI. So anyway, Jason Gonzalez was a good sport. He was a very good sport. That smile you see there, he took it well. And his brother, Wallace, just a huge man, a tight end at Utah, as you mentioned.
His brother was quite the baseball player, too, but he eventually just basically outgrew baseball. You can get too big for baseball, and Wallace pretty much did, but he found a good outlet for his athletic ability.
Well, and if you're the little brother in the family, you've got to learn how to take it, too. Just kind of comes with the territory.
Amazing. I mean, look at him. He's a little brother in age, and actually with his brother, he's a huge man.
Oh, one of the strongest players in this class. Very, very strong.
Slick shortstop Nick Allen had an incredible play early in this game. In his first at bat, he grounded out to the third baseman. As we mentioned, he is one of 40 remaining out of the Tournament of Stars that has a chance to make the U.S. national team, go play in the Pan Am Games. They'll know more on that roster after they finish in Houston in September. So congratulations to Nick and many of his teammates. We'll do our best to mention all of those as baseball is back in the Olympics in 2020 along with softball. Perfect Game is thrilled about it. Commissioner's office thrilled about it. And it's a conversation that for the betterment of the game and the betterment for each individual player. Nick on that one fouled it right back to the screen. Mom is Kathy, dad is Tom. He attends Francis W. Parker. And he was part of the national team when he was a 15U. And who will pick him in the first round next year? Well, he's a USC commit.
Yeah, there's always questions with scouts when you have somebody Nick Allen's size. He's listed at 5'9". You know, that's in cleats. And you worry about endurance and everything. But, you know, he plays baseball year-round. He plays as much baseball as anybody in the country. And I certainly have never seen him act tired on the baseball field or physically run down. And, yeah, he weighs 150 pounds, but he takes care of himself. And that agility you saw in the first inning, it's there every day. And the instincts, or if we get to see him on base anytime today, you'll see the base running instincts. He's a ball player. He's on the ball field probably every day of the year.
The play that we saw in that first inning was a major league play. The way he caught it to his backhand, how quick he got to his feet.
Stolen base. Jason Gonzalez moves on. Val, continue your thoughts.
And I think you just start to see that athleticism out there by Allen at shortstop. Those are the things that I think baseball scouts, baseball teams are looking for from that defensive position at shortstop.
Allen threw 91 across the infield at the National Showcase, ran a 6.7 360.
And Dave, I was surprised by the strength of his arm too.
Base hit right field. They're going to send the runner on around. Firing to the plate. The throw is high. An RBI for Nick Allen. He's still going into third with a head-first slide.
There's that baseball instinct right there showing up. Allen continued to know exactly where the ball was. As soon as he saw that ball was going to be airmailed over the catcher, he continued, never slowed down, came around second base, just flying, stays inside the ball here, shoots it into right field. A great piece of hitting right there to drive in the runner from second base. But this is what I love. Look, just watch him up at the top of your screen. He comes around, the pitcher forgets to back up the catcher at home plate. He sees that as well, never hesitates, sliding into third base. Great instincts right there.
So some timely hitting by the West squad. And the play is made to go to that bullpen. A decision for Jacob Heatherly, the talented arm coming out of the bullpen. He's a left-hander out of Coleman, Alabama. We will introduce you in a moment.
He's got a lot of size and strength in his hips and his core, and when you watch his delivery, he's using that core very well. He's topped out at 92. I've seen a bit higher in the last couple of weeks, up to 94. And he's a strike thrower. That low, strong lower half really serves to control his delivery well, and I'd expect him to fill up the zone this outing.
Royce Lewis takes a good, sharp diving breaking ball, and that's a nice take. It's low and inside. Heatherly is committed to go to Alabama. You saw that a moment ago. Plays his travel ball for the Georgia Jackets. Lewis singled back in the first inning. That fastball sails high, 2-0 the count. Lewis is committed to UC Irvine, the Anteaters, with a fabulous baseball program, and he is one of the 40 finalists to represent the United States. Mom is Cindy. Played softball at San Jose State. Dad is William, a heck of an athlete at Cerritos College and Cal State Fullerton. And so, real quick, guys, too, Dad is a sommelier, and a very successful one at the Winery Restaurant in Newport Beach, California. Everyone on the broadcast team lining up to go hang out with him at his house.
Yeah, I think I might have brought Mr. Lewis a little extra business this past week or two when I found that out and started talking to scouts about it. Say, when you go to see Lewis play this spring, are you going to drop by his dad's restaurant? And they're like, he has a restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I was doing my bit to help the business.
Can the scouts afford that place? No. if it's got a sommelier?
I told a couple scouting directors that too, because they're the ones that's going to pay the bill.
So his dad's certainly a unique and fun job, and Lewis earns the walk. He is special in the classroom, works at a food pantry, feeding the homeless, does a lot of work there. He's a young man in the classroom who loves chemistry, and so very talented Royce Lewis is on at first. We've enjoyed getting to spend time with him. Connor Usselton now. Quick snap throw. Lewis, there's the speed. Off he goes.
And Alex Terrell has played on the field with Nick Allen enough. He knows that if he'd thrown that ball down to second, there was a good chance that Nick Allen was taken off. He knew it right there. You could see it, you know.
Yeah, also the shortstop was a little bit late getting to the bag.
Runners on second and third for Usselton. David, we find ourselves surprised when you have a player who is a non-commit with this skill set. I mean, here is a guy in Connor Usselton, one of the best players in the country, number 8 player in the United States. No commitment.
Yeah, and we talked to Connor about that, and his father was even present while we discussed. And his father really kind of answered. He says, my son likes taking in all the information he can. You know, he's been raised not to make quick decisions or anything like that. And Connor said, yes, I don't need to sign. I can't officially sign till November. I want to collect every bit of information. I want to go on a few more visits and be secure that this is the right place for me. It was a very mature answer, thought process.
Good breaking ball, 1-2 the count. His travel squad, FTB, Florida Travel Baseball. Jared Goodwin was his coach. Now Jared on the staff at Florida International. That's a good bender.
That's a very nice curveball.
Heatherly being seen for the 13th time by Perfect Game scouts tonight. Bouncing ball up the ladder, middle of the diamond, back behind the bag, wheeling and dealing and firing, and a fine play made by Brady McConnell. And again, Torral does his tap dance around the bag. We enjoy watching McConnell. Fourth year in existence, the Diamondbacks World Series champions, and Gonzo won it. He won it with that beautiful blue pit that will always be remembered in the state of Arizona. He is standing by down inside of that dugout with Mike Rooney. Guys, take it away.
Darren, I'm really not with Major Leaguer Luis Gonzalez. I'm with Jacob Gonzalez's dad here is who I'm with. And Gonzo, what a summer Jacob has had. Tell us about what you've seen development-wise from him.
Well, he's been working hard, growing, getting stronger, and this is a great opportunity for him to be out here amongst all the best players in the country. And I'm amazed at the size of some of these guys coming out of high school.
And just this weekend overall, you've been here, the Rady Children's Hospital visit. What's your takeaway as far as the complete weekend for these kids?
Well, this has been a first-class event, and I was telling my son, this is exactly like going to Major League All-Star Game. All the events, the things that Perfect Game does, going to the hospital, it's just as important what you do on the field is what you do off the field, and going to the hospital, I think, was the impact thing for a lot of these players.
Last one for you. More nerve-wracking, Game 7 of the World Series or watching your son play in this?
Probably watching my son. He was 0-2, and I was so nervous for him, but I'm glad he came up with a big hit.
He sure did. Thanks for the time. Enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Congratulations to Gonzo, the dad, in this point, Jacob's dad. Hard hit ball off the bat of Hunter Greene. Adam Hall has moved over to short. Brady McConnell is at second base, and there is Jacob. By the way, Jacob, as this one just ate him up, Val.
Yeah, that last hop right there comes up and bites him right on the wrist. Tough hop right there.
So what does it mean with regard to, let's just throw in a quick TrackMan and then I'll finish the story. Hard hit ground balls, what does it mean to have something eat you up? That last ground ball, exit velocity 105.1 miles an hour. David, why don't you tell us what that means?
Well, 105, you can scout many games of talented players, and you won't see a ball over mid-90s, 98. To get something over 105 or at 105 is stunning. You know, and usually we associate those 105, those big hits with home runs or something like that. You know, TrackMan will measure the launch angle too. He didn't get under that, but that's the kind of contact he gets under. It's what the home run derby champion does.
Calvin Mitchell with the bat in his hands. He singled back in the second inning.
Speaking of that exit velocity, I think it was 2 years ago, Nelson Cruz hit a one hopper through the infield. The exit velocity was 119.
Goodness.
That's a laser beam.
Goodness.
That's dangerous for infielders.
In on his hands. That's a very good pitch. Tough to deal with. Uncomfortable for a left-handed hitter.
But to see young men at their age, 17 and 18 years old, hitting balls that hard, you could just tell the training that these guys have put in, the hours upon hours of hard work to be able to get to the point where they were invited to come play here with the best players in the nation.
Onto that great athleticism. Mitchell with a great family history of athleticism as well. As Dad Ryan played baseball at Fresno State. Mom was a show jumper, an equestrian show jumper, Mom Lisa. And has Laker ties too. His grandfather Brad Holland was a champion with the Lakers in '80. The last John Wooden recruit, Grandpa. How cool is that? That fastball right down the middle, looking for something else. That's strike three. All those pitches in, Val, made that fastball able to be snuck right by him.
Yeah, he's had some good movement coming from him. That ball kind of comes out of his hand and has that little bit of a drop, but this one right here, it almost has a little cutting action and just freezes him.
It's a very deliberate walk here. And obviously there is some action in the bullpen. Maybe a change being made. Ralph Suarez comes out. Remind you, on Ralph's staff is Tim Lowry. Lowry at Cosby High School, legend in Virginia. Manny Hermosillo with almost 700 wins here at Montgomery High School in San Diego. And Luis Lorenzana, all part of the East squad. Can I come in? Am I allowed to come in? Yeah, please come in.
Please come in.
Please come in. Blaine, you're allowed to come into this game. It's Louisiana native Blaine Enlow. We'll tell you more in a bit. Come on. Louisiana, St. Amant High School, all-district co-MVP. Very talented right arm, a young man who is ranked as the #1 player overall in Louisiana.
Yeah, and a young man who has not circulated on the national circuit as much as some others, so a lot of scouts here getting their first look at him. I've been fortunate enough to see him twice, and I can't tell you how impressed I am. Up to 94, and it's a very loose, easy arm action. But he, as I said in the pregame, this might be the best curveball in the 2017 class.
A couple of years ago, he overcame a big one. I mean, a really big one. He had an accident, fractured his pelvis, spent 12 weeks basically in a wheelchair. And it's been about a couple of weeks before that where he couldn't do a whole lot. And this was back in 2014. And he said, I've learned a lot about myself at that point. I grinded. I worked hard to get healthy. And then I realized I'll never, ever take anything for granted. And he continued to reach his goals, even though around Halloween in 2014 he went through that. So a story and determination. Already understands, Val, what it's like to go through that adversity.
Yeah, I think in this game, as we were watching this ball in the dirt, talk about that curveball and that bite. Came up and hit off the top of Campusano's chest, which allows the runner to advance to second base.
Facing Cole Turney. That one in and out of the catcher's mitt at Campusano that time. First one tough one to block. That one he'll tell you, I should have had it. Runner moves up to third.
You know, one thing for these young catchers right here, they're catching a new pitcher every single inning. Each guy's a little bit different. I don't think they've had a lot of reps with each one of these pitchers. So we're watching Enlo's fastball has a little bit more of a cut. We've seen a lot of guys with good breaking balls away. Not an easy job back there.
Lane touching 94 at the home of the Yankees at East Coast Pro, the showcase down in Florida. Texas Sun Devils. He played for the Texas Sun Devils at Perfect Games Creme de la Creme travel tournament in the fall in Jupiter, Florida. The World Wood Bat Association Championship. It's a fastball with some pretty good spin. TrackMan has that spin rate at almost 2,500. For a fastball, that's where you get the rise and the swing and a miss.
Yeah, it's very interesting on the TrackMan. We heard earlier what you want to avoid is being in the middle. Average is bad. You want the low spin rate to encourage ground balls. You want the high spin rate to get above, and that was 2687. You know, that's going to have a lot of life on it, and that's going to serve Enlo very well moving forward. Now, I really haven't talked to TrackMan people about whether spin rate on fastball and spin rate on breaking balls are related at all. But I want to see a spin rate here on a curveball, and he's not throwing him to the left-handed hitting Turney and loses him there.
Great definition, by the way. You could see up and over 3,000 is elite in the major leagues, having had the opportunity to call many StatCast games for MLB Advanced Media. 3,000 is a rarity, and so when you're a high school pitcher touching 25, 2,600 with your breaking ball, in other words, everything he throws is lively, according to our friends with TrackMan. Turney earns the walk. Garrett Mitchell's lively as a person. Energy plus. We've seen two really good throws from Mitchell. He walked and scored back in the second inning. Angels fan, because he's very near the ballpark. Anaheim Hills is where he lives. Mitchell, part of the 40 that has a chance to, in the Pan Am games, play for the 18U national team. Olympics back, baseball back, and in 20. Thrilled, Major League Baseball thrilled about that. Softball back as well.
One thing I think we're seeing here with Enlo is he's thrown 7 straight fastballs, I believe, to 2 left-handed hitters, and there might just be a natural hesitance to throw that breaking ball to left-handed hitters.
Rocket shot right field, up and over his head. The leaping grab. There is Jordan Adele. That will play to run. Come on down, Hunter Greene. That's a bolt. That's a sacrifice fly with an exclamation point. RBI Mitchell.
This is a tremendous play by the right fielder right here. This ball had a little life to it. Right at the end, he's able to reach up and grab it and just barely catch it in the web.
And he's sitting there in the sun. There's not much sun left on the field, but that little pocket in the right field corner. So he was about 20 feet into that sun. That may have affected his tracking the ball too, but he got it in the end.
Exit velocity of 99 miles an hour. Fastball up and in. Gets a swing and a miss. 0-1 the count. MJ Melendez, he singled in a run, scored back in the second inning. His counterpart, Luis Campusano, working very hard.
Likes to show off that arm.
Wouldn't you?
Second pick. Oh, yeah, if you got it, use it.
Dandy breaking ball. That was a heck of a breaking ball. Spin rate, almost 2,800 there.
And the thing, not only is it a high spin rate, but he's throwing at 80 miles an hour. He's throwing 92, 93, 91 on the fastball, but he's throwing that curveball almost at slider type speed.
27-66 on that one. MJ Melendez dealt with. Another run, 6-0. West Squad.
To be able to share that with the kids is kind of fun.
Trevor, there's the values piece to this for the young man. You have a chance to speak with him. This year you were joined by Ken Griffey Jr. You sit him down, you have East Squad, West Squad, you spend about an hour with them. It's about learning a little bit about these young men as young men, and you share with them.
Yeah, nothing really scripted. I think it all kind of comes from the heart, and kind of where the conversation will go is important. But certainly getting a chance to observe the kids at the beach house and how they conduct themselves and how polite certainly is a credit to their families where they come from.
Hans Kraus is in the middle of the diamond on the mound out of Dana Hills, California. The mechanics are unique. The arm is one of the liveliest, period, that you will see. Krause, a character, very good kid. Grandparents have meant so much to him. Robin and John really raising him, and so Krause, we're excited to see him throw. Val, this scouting report certainly tells a lot about him, and just watching him go, he'll back it all up.
Yeah, I look at it, entertaining and deceptive.
Yes.
Very interesting. A lot could go into that right there. But he does have some Mark Bird Fidrich in him, as he'll manicure the mound with his hands on his knees. But boy, does he have an arm.
Here's that arm with that fastball at 95 miles an hour. You also, as part of the group in fundraising for Rady Children's Hospital, as a member of Padres and as a San Diego resident, bring these young players to Rady. That's a big piece for you.
It's a huge piece. They do so much great work in our community, and to have that connection with the Padres that started a long time ago about giving back in our community and being able to work well with them has been important.
That one spun right around, a beautiful piece of hitting. Line drive right into center field, 96 miles an hour, but it's squared up right there, guys, by Quentin Holmes.
Hey, Trevor, you talking about having an impact as we watch this great swing right here. Nice and short to the ball. Quentin Holmes, young man out of Queens, New York, which is where I'm from. I'm sure he was one of the few guys that probably never saw the Pacific Ocean.
No, but he was one of the more demonstrative introductions in the clubhouse, too. He made sure everybody knew where he was from, and it was certainly great to see him step up and make that happen.
Trevor Hoffman joining us up in the broadcast booth. That breaking ball disappears. It dives down and away.
You know, we were talking about having an impact. I know you understand this because you do this every year with these young men. We never ever really truly understand the impact that we have on people when we spend time with them. So for these young men to show up at a big leaguer's home, for you to open up your house, show that hospitality, but they got a little glimpse of it by going to the Rady Hospital.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it brings everything really back down to ground zero for them to understand how blessed they are, that opportunity to have that platform to give back when given the opportunity. And I certainly think they all walked away from that experience humbled. And we've all been touched by cancer. We've all been touched by a children's hospital in our area. And so for them to be able to understand that at an early age in their careers is fantastic.
Adam Hall working with a 1-1 count. Grew up in Bermuda, moved to Canada to play baseball for 2 years at 12 years old, was away from his family. He lived with the coach that brought him there. Family visited, certainly. Dad is of Canadian descent. London, Ontario, the 5th time perfect game. Has seen with a huge jump, and that one is fouled off at home plate. Quick question about the genesis of this company, Trevor. You've gotten to know founder and what Jerry Ford means. He and his wife Betty founding this company, kind of his parents, to get their kids in Iowa to be found and get college scholarship. It's kind of that same Iowa ground base with how they run the company now. It's much bigger, but it's kind of the same.
Yeah, hats off to those guys. You know, you see Betty at the stand handing out all the programs and things to either the parents that are coming through or the recruiters or scouts that want to go see these kids, and it's very much a hometown feel. And Jerry just loves the game and wants to give back, and it's certainly grown to some great proportions for them.
A lively arm. It's a swing and a miss. What do you make of Hans Krause?
Entertaining to lose. I'm waiting for him to do the fiddlers and cover up the mound and start talking to himself, but you know, they like to have a lot of fun up at Dana Hills. It's a great area in California to be from.
BPA is his travel team. Craig Graybeck, who had some time in the big leagues running his travel ball program. Breaking ball is up and in. It is fouled off. And family's really involved in this event. Look, your father, your son, and your sons are very active athletically. A ton of families come out here. That's encouraged. Come to this event and bring your families.
You know, it's a great event. I mean, it's very, very well attended today. Certainly having a local flavor in San Diego with so many kids and Nick and Kyle and Calvin. You know, you don't want to miss anybody, but certainly it's kind of fun. And Benny, it's fun to see the California kids, especially from San Diego, being a part of it.
Runner on the move, rocket shot up the ladder to the bag, the double play. Trevor Hoffman, thanks for hosting all of us.
Thanks for having me.
We really appreciate it.
Job.
Next
Guys.
year,
Thank you.
that man's year. Sessions for Mickey Moniak, over 100. Blake Rutherford, Josh Lowe, Gavin Lux out of Wisconsin, Alex Kirilloff, talented young player out of Pennsylvania. All of them first-round picks. That's exactly what it means, and we've been able to track throughout this week. We'll keep an eye on that for you and have updates as well for how the players have done, not only watching in-game as well. So the 2015 bat speed. The right-hander on the mound is Hunter Ruth. Hunter Ruth out of Gainesville, Florida, David Ronso. You guys have seen him 20 times. His mom is Kathy, his dad is Kirk. They both were Florida Gators. He is a Florida Gator commit.
That was probably not too hard of a recruiting job by Kevin O'Sullivan and his staff at University of Florida, but one that could bring great rewards.
Fastball buried in. Good pitch in on the hands. Tough to deal with. That one is put away. Talking a lot of college coaching. Mike Greene used to be a college coach. He's with one. Mervel Melendez, guys.
Darren, we are with the new coach at Florida International, Mervel. What a great weekend. You're here as a dad really more than anything. Tell us about your weekend as a dad first.
Well, you know what? You have to set time aside for your family, and it is a great honor to be a part of it, and for MJ to be a part of it. We're having a great time, of course, as PG does it the best. So we're excited to be here and looking forward to the rest of a great game.
And you've been around a lot of PG events as a recruiter and now as a dad. Tell us about your experiences with Perfect Game.
Well, Perfect Game has done a great job. You know, over the last, I would say 7-8 years, Perfect Game is the events that you want to go to. The talent level is incredible, and the tournaments that they put on are incredible. And if you don't go to Perfect Games, you miss out on a lot of great players.
Last question: more nerve-wracking to coach at an NCAA regional or watch your son in this game?
Watching my son in this game by far, not even a question about that. It is, like I said, it is a great honor for him to be here. But for me, it is, I'm there biting my nails.
Love it. Congratulations. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Back to you, Sut.
Yeah, Runes with a theme going on down there. Coaching a regional, hitting a World Series. Watch your son. Oh boy, Jacob Gonzalez. Speaking of sons, he is hit by a pitch, so he is now singled and been hit by a pitch. He is at first. Hot shot into center field. That's a base hit for Jason Gonzalez. Moving to run with the fielder's choice. That one exit velocity of 99 miles an hour.
Yeah, pitch is 92.5. It comes back faster. Probably not a good thing for a pitcher to get in the habit of. But Ruth had thrown some nice sinkers there, got one that out over the plate a bit, and Gonzalez, one of the stronger players in the class, took care of it.
Slick Nick Allen singled in a run. Line drive right field back in the second inning. Grounded out to the third baseman in the first inning. Hands away from his body. Pop that one up back behind home plate. Let's see if there's room. There is not. For Luis Campusano. Nick Allen here last year for Perfect Game's underclass. When this game ends, there is a long showcase at the University of San Diego for those that are heading into their junior year. Really talented group of players. He was part of that last year.
Yeah, I think some 9, 10, 11 players at the underclass All-American last year are playing in this game this year. So we try to get the best players, give especially the college coaches a chance to look at them. They're out recruiting these juniors to be. But we try to make it almost like this game in terms of the talent and some of the fringe benefits as well. Nike takes very good care of these young men. And we'll be seeing the next Nick Allens and the next Jason Gonzalez out there the next few days at San Diego.
That was a member, Nick's dad, Tom, member of the national water polo team, as that breaking ball extends the strike zone from Ruth just a little bit. Hunter, FW Buckholz High School, his coach is Ron Brooks, and he's killing it in the classroom. Nearly a 4.5 GPA, AP US history, all that goes into that. Popped foul to the right side. Folks, our defensive play of the game brought to you by Rawlings, the mark of a pro.
In an instant, but watch the strong, accurate throwing arm. It's one thing to catch the ball on a diving play. It's another to get back up and complete the play. And this young man gets it done.
Nice job putting his nose on it by Campusano there.
Had the pleasure to play behind home plate and watch Omar Vizquel for many, many years at shortstop position, and that was one of his textbook plays.
Allen to the right side, took a shot the other way again. David, you've seen him a ton. Let's see, he's been scouted 21 times, including tonight. Does he spray the ball with some zest on it like we're seeing in this game?
Yeah, that's one thing that Nick, as he's physically matured. And the first time I saw him play, he was listed in the program at 5'4", 120 pounds. So this is a bigger version of Nick Allen, and he has progressed as a hitter. You know, he's had some bolts off the walls. You saw one down in Cary, he had a triple off the left center field wall. So there's more power there than you would expect out of the frame. But I don't think he's looking to hit the ball with power. He's looking to do what we've seen. Take pitches, work the other way when that's what the pitcher gives him. But if you put a ball in his wheelhouse, he's going to take a healthy cut at it.
West squad leading at 6-0 and threatening here. Bottom half of the 4th inning. 7 hits for the West squad, 4 for the East. A couple of miscues on that scoreboard as well. All part of the nerves, and Royce Lewis his chance now. Lewis has singled, he has walked, he has stolen the bag. He's had a spectacular night. Boy, it's one thing to block a breaking ball, Dave Valley, but to block a fastball at 91, that's something else.
Yeah, and the reason is you're not anticipating a fastball going into the dirt. Anytime you call a breaking ball or a changeup, you anticipate that ball could be in the dirt, and your body has that natural movement towards the ground. But to be able to get your knees down to block a fastball is very impressive.
Got a check swing, and again an active catcher. This is how we've seen Campusano play at Perfect Games National Showcase. Saw him play at Cary at the Tournament of Stars the same way.
Yeah, there was a game, Darren, and I think you were there, where the U.S. baseball coaching staff wanted to know what they had in Campusano, and it's smoking hot in Cary, North Carolina in late June, and they left him in for all 9 innings of a game. He must have blocked 25 pitches that day as we see him go down on his knees again. And I think they were doing it to test the young man to see whether he had the desire, the internal fortitude to do that and at that next level. And he came out looking like a star that game, but I think that's who he is behind the plate.
We're going to get a visit, so Val, that'll allow me to tee you up as Ralph Suarez comes out. He is getting beat up behind home plate, but you don't ask for pitches in the dirt, but in a showcase game like this, Campusano really showing off some good skills.
Well, he's showing off what he can do back there. Now, imagine the situation right here. It's bases loaded. He's just blocked 2 straight fastballs in the dirt. He calls the curveballs in the dirt. So 3 times, 3 in a row, runner 90 feet away, getting the job done behind the dish. That just instills a lot of confidence in your pitchers that they don't have to throw a perfect pitch every single time.
Visit done. Lunch pail catcher ready to go to work again. 2-1 the count to Royce Lewis with the bases loaded. Fastball and a good one. That one's popped foul up into the seats, just under 90 miles an hour. Trying to get that free. San Diego Show represented their great travel baseball team in the San Diego area. San Diego Show. How about Bryce Harper? That's one of their alumni. You folks have heard of him. 2-2 the count. Breaking ball missed outside on the right arm of Hunter Ruth.
And that's been Ruth's pattern this summer. He is a primary fastball pitcher. He's still learning to command that curveball, and he's got a very, very bright future because he'll get up the ball up into the mid-90s. But when you watch his mechanics, he leaves his backside over the rubber a lot, and he can get a lot more lower half drive, out of his body.
Trying to turn it, throw is high, and it ricochets out of play. So a tough break there. It was fun watching Campusano decoy that the pitch would be in. He hit his spot. That's a good piece of hitting by Lewis. They get the runner at second base, but you can add some runs to that tally. 8-0 now.
We talked earlier about Allen and his instincts on the base paths. Look how quickly he gets to second base and makes it very uncomfortable for McConnell to throw this ball towards first. Kind of credit Allen right here for this error and for the extra run. Love to see that from young players, hustling on every play. Give me a good, strong 90 feet every time out.
This is Javon Carrier Ward. Tall, lean, athletic. He swings through the first one out of Long Beach, California. He goes down in a tumble. Hope he's all right. 6'5", 190. Just a quick walk to make sure he's all right. Carrier Ward is the #2 outfielder in the state of California.
Looked like his knee kind of got in an awkward position right there.
He's still just making sure it feels all right.
And he needs to be careful.
With the medical staff, the training staff from both dugouts coming out to check on Javon Carrier Ward out of Richard Garr High School. Great football skills in his family history, one of many USC commits. Dad Reggie was a wide receiver at Notre Dame, and his uncle Mark Carrier, you may remember that, had 32 career interceptions in the NFL as a defensive back. Dad played with Tim Brown, catching footballs for Notre Dame. Fun kid to watch.
Yeah, very fun kid to watch, and he has even grown physically in the last year, grown taller and grown stronger, and as you can see there's a lot more growth potential there. It wouldn't be surprising as we see Carrier Ward going back to home plate to see him fill out, maybe be 6'5", 220 pounds. He's got the frame to do it, and with that kind of strength and size comes power. And we saw in that swing, he's going to try to hit the ball hard too. I'm glad to see he's okay.
He's got a frame very similar to Darryl Strawberry, young Darryl Strawberry.
Pulls that one foul. I'll see your Darryl Strawberry and raise you one Jason Hayward. We'll throw that all in there and see who wins. They're both great comparisons. Hayward, of course, a former perfect game All-American. Javon Carrier Ward, artistic, loves to draw, loves photography. 3 times in the principal's honor roll. International business, French club, a well-rounded young man. Oh goodness, that's quite a changeup.
It was a very nice changeup. Good take by Carrier Ward too, is to not swing at it.
Swings right through the fastball. Down he goes, Javon Carrier Ward. Most importantly, that knee is all right. Hunter Ruth pulls it back together, cleans things up, but the West squad rolling 8-0. West Monroe High School. He is in left field, and there is some energy, there is some aggression, I should say, and some passion from this right arm. The #1 right-handed pitcher in the United States out of Colleyville, Texas. 22nd PG event. He has found himself in front of scouts. Alex Scherf out of Prestonwood Christian Academy. Todd Cash is his head coach there, and Scherf plays for the Houston Banditos Travel Club.
Yeah, he's a very interesting young pitcher. Obviously, probably one of the most interesting things is, most pitchers this age, they're just developing the changeup. That's his go-to pitch, really. That was he's going to throw in the mid-90s, but I think he has more confidence in his changeup. He uses it liberally on all counts, and it's a very, very strong pitch for him.
Well, he started off right there with a good, solid changeup for strike one, followed up with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside part of the dish.
Buries that fastball in. So, with regard to the numbers, his extension there at 5'9", he's a young man that stands 6'2", talking about the TrackMan numbers against Alex Toral. That means, and you can see it, he kind of stops short. He has a strong recoil, doesn't have a big follow-through. That's where he gets it. Stands 6'2", but releases there at about, 5'9". Good changeup. It was up, but it fooled her. So we know that. I mean, the TrackMan numbers tell us that, David, as part of the scouting report, that he's a recoil pitcher. What else can you tell us?
Well, if you look at the picture right there, he's a very strong young man. He doesn't have a whole lot of physical development left. You can tell just looking at those arms. He's worked in the weight room. We see the changeup. He'll throw it at any time, first pitch for the strikeout. The breaking ball is solid at times. It's still definitely his third pitch, but it has potential. It's a big sweeping mid to upper 70s curveball, and we see it right there.
There is the curveball. He got a big strikeout on a very tough hitter, Alex Toral out of Davie, Florida. Jordan Adell, his opportunity, his second at bat, the high-skilled athlete Jordan Adell. Fastball is over the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Jordan is a Louisville commit. Mom is Nicole, dad is Scott, and certainly the Ballard Bruins, where he plays his high school baseball, enjoy having his skill set. Changeup up, lightning bolt into center field. Exit velocity of 97 miles an hour off the bat.
97 off a changeup, and we've seen a couple early Scherf changeups get up in the zone. Jordan Adell can handle that, and a nice clean single to center field.
Yeah, Scherf gets a little bit underneath this changeup instead of having that good downward follow through. This ball is left up and does a nice job of shooting it straight back up the middle.
He's not going to be at first for long. Here's Cole Brannon. Right at the knees, strike one to Cole Brannon. We were telling you about Cole earlier, his busy family, Georgia Southern commit in the outfitting business. You want to hunt and fish, you get a hold of Cole Brannon. Hot shot, that's into center field. In on his hands, but boy, he's strong. Pulled the hands in enough, and Brannon, he's had a good summer, right?
He's had an outstanding summer, and one thing you see about him as a hitter, he rarely pulls the ball. He is an inside swing approach, but he's strong enough and has the bat speed to hit the ball hard to the middle. I've seen him go opposite field home run this year, and that's something you just don't see on a 180-pound high school player. But he has the quickness and the power, and most importantly, the swing path to drive the ball the opposite field.
Here is Terry Fuller. Arm angle under that changeup again. We talked about Terry, his mom, Sebeka, and just what a spectacular young man he is. Just he and mom. And boy, certainly really proud of his mom. He has a lot of pride in the hard work she has done. She's out here. Georgia Player of the Year. Well, he's lucky he got that one back. A changeup that looked very hittable. Very hittable.
Yeah, I think you'd like to see that one more time. Scherf just left that changeup right over the heart of the plate.
Adele on his way to third. Throw down. Beautiful throw. MJ Melendez right on top of the bag. Love watching him catch and throw. We've talked about that a lot this summer.
Yeah, top of the show we mentioned he's been in a zone. Not he has the arm strength. He has the best raw arm strength of any catcher in this class. But arm strength is great, but it's not very functional if you can't make accurate throws. And that's one thing that MJ has been simply outstanding with this summer, and we just saw the latest example of it.
Big swing on a breaking ball that is fouled off. So we see a lot of strength, and I just want to go back into the box. There's athleticism. There's talent and quick transfer out of that catcher's make good feet, but we see a lot of strength in that batter's box. Tell us a little bit more about the athlete that is Fuller. He's big, he's strong. Obviously the upside is just straight power.
When we first saw him at the PG National, when we saw him in depth, I should say, we were concerned about how the bat played in game, because he put on a show in batting practice that was fun. He creates great backspin with his swing play and everything. But what we quickly found out is that he's a good game hitter too. He faced some tough lefties down in Fort Myers. He had competitive at bats. He hit the ball hard, and that's where he took the next step in the evaluation. And you can see here, he's seen changeups, he's seen curveballs, he's seen 95-mile-an-hour fastballs, and he can handle all these pitches.
Full count, 2 outs. And we hope that a little more time to talk about this, Dave.
Yeah, take a look at his feet. One foot replaces the other right here. Gets off a quick release. That's what it's all about for those young catchers out there that are watching. Melendez does a tremendous job of taking his right foot, puts it right where his left foot was, which enables him to get that ball up in a good throwing position and get off a strong, accurate throw.
Down he goes. That is a called third strike. Fuller, a pair of strikeouts in the inning. Alex Scherf up and over that foul line. The talented pitchers, one after another roll on. This is MacKenzie Gore out of Whiteville, North Carolina, the #1 left-handed pitcher in the state of North Carolina. Number 41 overall player in the country. Pitches for a very great travel ball team, the Evo Shield Canes. Won Perfect Games World Wood Bat Association Championship last October in Jupiter, Florida. He is a member of the Evo Shield Canes. He's got a great big supporting cast behind him, and as they get busy, we will point them out to you. And right away, we see a big high leg kick. He misses outside. 1-0 the count. David, what do we make of that?
It's a very athletic delivery. I mean, he gets that leg, he gets his body turned. He only weighs 170 pounds, but that whole body's into it. Generates a low 90s fastball, a very good breaking ball. But when I see a young pitcher with those kind of mechanics, I wonder how that delivery is going to age, because he can do that when he's 17 years old. Move the clock forward a bit and your body changes. You know, how long he's able to maintain that delivery or even simplify it is going to be an interesting part of the equation.
Hunter Greene, 1-2 the count on Greene. Greene, the #1 player in the country. We've heard a lot from him. We've seen a lot from him. We saw him pitch a scoreless frame. Reached on a miscue. Got active on the base pads. Came around to score a run, Hunter Greene did. Likes to fish when he has a chance, and I don't know when he has time. I mean, he's an amazing student at Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks. He's started his own anti-bullying campaign at his school that he's the head man with. Very good grades. I don't know when he has time to go fishing. 2-2. Boy, that's a changeup and a dandy. Down goes Hunter Greene with a new supporting cast behind him. We will remind you, we've seen some of them. Terry Fuller is at first. Floridian Cash Case really fought hard to earn his way onto this roster. We'll introduce you to him in a bit. Tim Elko is next to Ricardo De La Torre. Torre is at short out of Puerto Rico. Tim Elko is also out there as well at third. Breaking ball, goodness. A wheeling breaking ball. And a good looking pitch to Calvin Mitchell.
That's a knee buckler right there. Threw
Gosh,
it right at the right shoulder of the hitter and just froze him.
He buries a fastball in at 92. No, that stuff's not fair.
No, it's a nice little approach right here. I like his game plan. Let's see if he's going to go something hard down and away.
Calvin singled. He struck out looking. Dropped the arm angle on that slider. Flattened it out a little bit.
Being a little creative out there. I like it.
Darren, in that vast array of information and everything, do you happen to have MacKenzie Gore's high school statistics from this year?
Breaking ball is outside. Here's what I'm going to tell you about MacKenzie Gore's high school stats. They're really good because every player in this game's high school stats are really good. But quick, pay him off. Pay it off for me.
Yeah, he threw 82 innings this spring in Whitehall, North Carolina, and allowed 1 earned run.
It was in the playoffs, right?
And it was in the state championship game. But before then, 80 or so innings with no runs allowed. There's a lot going on there. He doesn't get over his front side really well, but the arm is loose and easy, and a pitching coach at the next level is going to have a lot of fun with him.
Val, I'll let you attack this because David has already introduced us a lot. East Carolina commit.
He talked about that big lower half turn. I'd probably like to see that simplified a little bit. Not so high. Maybe stay a little bit more gathered at the top and definitely start getting over that front side just for any type of arm issues going forward. But I do love the way this ball comes out of his hand. He's in nice fluid motion. You can tell he's a very good athlete out there on the mound, and as we've seen already, a little bit creative. I like that in the pitch. He's not afraid to drop down, show a different angle.
And somehow in the first 12 pitches of his outing has shown 4 very distinct pitches and the ability to throw them for strikes.
Boy, he admires his sister, Gore, his sister Meredith, older. He's fought through cerebral palsy or a variation of cerebral palsy and has earned her health management degree, her MBA as well. Meredith is MacKenzie's true mentor and leader. He has learned a lot from his older sister. Boy, tip of the cap for him to sharing that with us. Fastball, fly ball. Into center field it goes. Play is made out there by Mr. Anderson, Jordan Anderson, who's got new friends as well. Standing out next to him, Kyle Jacobson is the right fielder. Jacobson out of Ackworth, Georgia. Alatoona High School, a great program. And then back behind the plate, well, let's just keep that theme going. Mr. Williams doing the catching. Stephen Williams, he too a Georgia native. There's a lot of players from Georgia. The #2 catcher in the state. Deerfield Windsor High School, plays for Team Elite as that one skips in there.
In fact, both the East catchers, Campusano and Williams, from the state of Georgia. 6 players, I believe, overall from Georgia on this East roster.
Third at bat for Cole Turney. Singled and scored, walked. Gore has been very impressive thus far. Good changeup, good breaking ball, a lot of life on the fastball. And then that, a change, it kind of flattened out, but a good one.
I haven't seen that changeup from MacKenzie Gore earlier this summer. I've seen him pitch a complete 7-inning game at the 17 Under World Series. Saw him in a couple 3-inning outings, and I haven't seen that changeup, and you've got to love it.
That's twice that Turney let a ball travel deep in his stance, and he's rewarded because the throw pulls him off the bag. De La Torre had his opportunity, just a bit off the mark, so they Valley again a hitter in this situation. That's what you're supposed to do against a lefty who's tough, but it's one thing to want to do it, but then to do it.
And he absolutely does it right here. De La Torre got a good strong arm, but pulls the first baseman off the bag. He tries to hold on and get back to the bag, but Turney doing a good job of hustling down the line.
Speaking of hustle, chance to see Jacob Pearson now, his first at bat. And we saw him come on to play defense. We mentioned the young man is out of Louisiana, West Monroe High School. Runner on the move. That one goes to the backstop. No need to slide. Still Turney is in there. We'll give him a stolen base on that one.
Yeah, there's a word I like using describing players in a certain style, and that's their motor. And Jacob Pearson stands out consistently for his motor. He's one of these players. The uniform is always going to be dirty. He's on base a lot. He's got an outstanding hit tool, but he's one of these guys who busts every single moment on the field. There's no play off in Jacob Pearson's vocabulary, and it's fun to watch.
I'll take you behind the scenes then to back up your story, and Val, you'll appreciate this, almost in a sense of spring training cuts, if you will. Jacob Pearson was at the Tournament of Stars and was on the bubble of making that 40-man USA roster. He made it hard every night for them with the way he played. Didn't end up making it, but he was the most discussed man in the room every single night. And Dave, that backs up what you're talking about, man. A good take there, 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably a plus runner naturally. So when you play that hard, that just makes the speed play up. If he hits a ground ball to second base here, it will be a close play at first base. I guarantee it.
Breaking ball, yikes! Are you kidding me?
That was a big bender right there.
3-2 the count. Jacob, how'd you take that one? And he earns himself a walk. How in the world? I'm really speechless.
You take a look at the bend on this one right here. Again, throws it right at his right shoulder of the batter, of Pearson. That ball ends up in the dirt on the other side of the box.
He's probably telling Terry Fuller down at first base. I don't know how I took that.
Man, I'm glad he didn't throw that strike for a strike.
Pearson is at first. Pearson, by the way, plays his travel ball for Chad Rayleigh's Marucci Elite, an outstanding Louisiana-based program. Great in the classroom, part of Magna Tech Engineering at West Monroe High School. Philip Clark, welcome to this contest out of Franklin, Tennessee, the #1 catcher in the state of Tennessee. Top 50 player in the United States overall of all players. A high strike, 0-1 the count.
And Dave, we were talking earlier in the game about left-handed hitting catchers, and I think of the left-handed hitting catchers, Melendez and Williams and Clark. Clark has the best present hit tool of those three left-handed hitting catchers. In fact, he's really kind of an offensive first catcher who should hit at the next. It's a very short swing. You can see he's a strong, well-built young man, but he's a very good hitter.
Oh, Kyle Schwarber-ish.
Okay.
Vanderbilt.
Do you project him as a catcher?
Yeah, I do project him as a catcher. He's got that quickness and athleticism and enough arm strength that if he works hard, stays healthy. But it's going to be an average catching profile. But that's what he's going to do right there.
Toward the gap in right center field. It is down. Clark, that big bat, hustles on around. And an RBI for Philip Clark. His first at bat of this contest, and congratulations to him. That's how you announce your presence with authority. The young man out of Christ Presbyterian Academy, where he plays for Larry Nesbitt. Travel ball for the Dirtbags. This is a dirty swing.
There's a fastball up on the inner half of the plate. He's able to pull his hands in, get the barrel of the bat to the ball, and drives it into the right center field gap for a double.
So Pearson with the walk. Clark with the two-bagger. He just kept on running. And here is Ryan Valade. You get a chance to see Ryan dig into the box. We really enjoyed getting to know him before the game. His dad, James, part of the Holiday staff, Josh Holiday staff at Oklahoma State. Ryan out of Frisco, Texas, Frisco High School. #1 shortstop in the state of Texas.
I'm feeling a bit for MacKenzie Gore, because as we've been talking about his pitches and the variety, creativity, he's thrown well.
Sure.
You know, and the command hasn't been as we see there, another ball to the backstop. The command has let him down at times, and he's left a pitch or two up. But it's not a bad performance, a very impressive performance from a scout's point of view. But he just hasn't got the breaks and has therefore allowed 2 runs.
Here's a little slider down in the dirt. It looks like that ball hits home plate and kicks straight up. Sometimes as a catcher you can do all the right things, being in the right position, but if that ball takes that funny hop, almost impossible to block it.
So Valade will trot to first, earning himself a walk. We're talking about Ryan Valade plays for the Dallas Tigers travel ball team. That's where Clayton Kershaw plays. I mean, Hernandez runs that program, does a really good job. One of his favorite activities is just a game of catch with his 9-year-old brother Trent. One of his favorite pastimes. Another chance for Jacob Gonzalez. Jacob has singled. He has been hit by a pitch. He singled in a pair back in the 2nd inning.
Jacob Gonzalez, who is committed to TCU. TCU's got 4 commits here at the Perfect Game.
Stolen base for Ryan Valade. It's a really big jump.
I say TCU is a program that has really come along since Jim Schlossnagel has taken over down there in Fort Worth. Looks like he's going to have another good recruiting class here.
And guys, this plays into this game. You can see players in the top 25. USC leading the charge. Schloss and his group. Auburn with the recent change in their commitments, they just pulled Tanner Burns over to their side, LSU and UCLA. So, David, I think we talk a lot about the pro game. It's a big part of it. The draft next year will be riddled with these players, but also a lot of talented players. A.J. Puck played in this game, went on to Florida out of this game.
Yeah, and when I look at that list, those 5, what makes me happy as a baseball fan is to see USC up there, because USC in the last decade or so hasn't always, you know, had the kind of program that they had previously, and to see them ramp up the recruiting and to be getting players, maybe getting players like that, is real encouraging for that program.
That was a 2-0 hack for Jacob Gonzalez. USC loading him up. You mentioned TCU for Jacob. His team, by the way, winning that 17U World Series in Arizona. Late in July, a low strike, 2-2 the count. T-Rex squad, Arizona T-Rex squad, shocking many. And he was the MVP of that tournament. Got to go to bed in his own bed. Maybe. I mean, his teammates were as well. They did a hotel night or 2 for him. He goes down with a big swing that time. More runs added on. It is a night to be on that good-looking Nike uniform, colored blue. The West Squad leads it by a score of 10-0. We were talking about that out of Aurora, Colorado. Regis Jesuit High School in Colorado. You remember Walt Weiss, Major League Manager. He coached at Regis Jesuit, went from Regis to the big leagues. David, tell us about the stuff of Caleb, please.
Well, there's a number of scouts who I've talked to who think that Caleb Sloan may eventually be the hardest thrower in this class. I've seen him up to 95. He's a big physical kid, but the arm is very fast and loose, and I think there's some more velocity in there. He throws a power slider, a true power slider, as his second pitch, and we'll definitely see that tonight. And I'd love to see what the TrackMan numbers are on his spin rates on his fastball.
See that good 2-seamer right there. This a little heavy bowling ball type sinker.
I love that. I love that term bowling ball, by the way. When it says so much about what a pitcher is doing.
Stephen Williams gets a chance to hit. He breaks his bat. And the young man with the roller out to second out of Deerfield Windsor High School, who plays for Team Elite. Williams, the Auburn commit, is gone, and a nice play made by Tyler Freeman. Very proud of his father. Homicide detective for the Pomona Police Department, and Great story. Strong family, Tyler Freeman. He's the new second baseman. And it's short, Hunter Greene, #1 player in the United States. He has pitched. He has won the home run derby. He's now playing shortstop.
And I think he scored a run or two.
He has.
As well.
He
and
has.
the uniform is dirty.
Check, 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 check.
Here's Jordan Anderson, who flied to right field back in the 3rd inning. Throwing some good sink, and that's 92. Just nice little dive, and it just easy, guys. I mean, just an easy, fluid delivery.
You could just see a lot of ground balls coming off that two-seamer.
Up a little bit, but still late on it. That one is fouled off to the right side.
What are we getting for spin rates there, Darren?
Lower spin rate, and that's what goes along with a sinking fastball. About 2,200 on the spin rate there. And if you have a good sinker, you want that lower spin rate. It will rise if you have a higher spin rate. Boy, good pitch inside corner. Frozen right on the hands. Now that was a tough two-seamer. It's one thing to get a ground ball, Dave Valley, but to get a freeze on a pitch like this?
Yeah, this pitch right here just locks him up right here. The ball starts off on the plate and just starts boring into the right-hander. And the hitter knows, gosh, if I swing this bat, it's going to end up breaking in two.
So here is Tim Elko as Anderson heads back to the dugout. Elko out of Lutz, Florida. We get a chance to see Tim Elko swing the bat. He's an Ole Miss commit. His mom is Cheryl, dad is John. Great program. The Orlando Scorpions, his travel ball team.
Mm.
1-1.
And that would be an example, not that that's an easy pitch to hit for anybody, but that would be an example of a pitch that's pitching right away from Tim Elko's strengths. Tim's a 6'4" guy. He likes getting the arms extended. He has big power to right center field, as we see the slider there. And Tim Elko wants the ball out away from him. And if you can jam him like that, you're going to get him out. But I think that slider would probably get just about everybody out.
Phil Clark is working behind the plate with Elko. In the batter's box, rolls that one to the middle of the diamond. He is on with a single. Pitch up a little bit. So Caleb Sloan gives up the base hit. By the way, with regard to Sloan, heck of a football player too. Had 10 sacks, 36 tackles as a junior. You get to this point, Dave and David, where guys really specialize. They choose to not play football and basketball heading into their senior year. Mr. Valley, your thoughts on that first off?
I think that's a great idea. If you know that baseball is your passion, that's the sport that you want to pursue, then I think that's a great idea to stay away from the gridiron. You know, I had an older brother who was a great athlete, baseball, basketball, his senior year. Last football game of the season, he ended up having a serious knee injury. So after I saw that personally, I just said, you know what, I'm not even going to play football. I like it, but I know I love baseball.
Drew Waters is the hitter. Waters fouls that one off. I'd love your thoughts as a scout.
You know, I think it varies by position. You know, I think there's a lot of talk now that maybe some of these players are specializing too much. You know, and this is a societal thing, just not a baseball thing.
Sure.
And we've done a lot of work with Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball has been very active about the Pitch Smart program and maintaining the innings and the number of pitches thrown. So when you see a pitcher playing another sport, you know, and taking that 3-4 months off from baseball and throwing from the mound, that's generally a healthy thing. And, you know, you don't have to play football or basketball. There's some other sports out there, too. So in a pitcher, it's really a healthy thing. And really for any young man, they're 16, 17 years old. Let's go out and enjoy things if you're good at it.
Fouled that one off. I'm glad you mentioned that, David Ronzi, because Perfect Game, a fully compliant organization with regard to Pitch Smart, and monitoring the health of all of their competitors, the commissioner's office, the task force. What a great job they have done with Pitch Smart. Perfect Game right at the top of that list as fully compliant. Drew Waters with an 0-2 count, pulled his hands in, fly ball right field. That one is put away by Cole Turney, partner of Perfect Game. Train smart, improve fast. It's been all about aggressive offense and timely hitting. The West squad exploding. Guys like Calvin Mitchell, Cole Turney, MJ Melendez, Jacob Gonzalez. A couple of times, Jason Gonzalez coming through. Philip Clark with the double. It has been all West. They've been very aggressive offensively. And certainly been fun to watch them do their thing. And We kick it on downstairs. Mike Greene is standing by with the man whose team is not on the winning side, but boy, it's a talented athlete. Runes is with Jordan Adele. Guys, take it away.
You're right, Sud. It's an absolute treat. Jordan Adele, you're one of the top athletes in the country in any sport. Tell us, this game's the future of baseball. Tell us why you love baseball so much and you're picking baseball.
For me, you know, my athleticism on the field and the things that I can bring to the table as far as baseball goes, that's the reason that I play the game. And I love playing the game. I've always loved it since I was little, 6, 7 years old. So that's the reason why, you know, I play.
And you have a huge 12 months ahead of you, just like all the other guys in this team. I think about this weekend, Rady's Children's Hospital visit, the relationships here, that knock up the middle you had. What's your favorite part of the weekend?
My favorite part of the weekend was the Rady's Children's Hospital for sure. I connected with a lot of the patients there, and one in particular, her name was Kimmy, and she really reached out to me, and she's like, I'm a big baseball fan, you know, and once I get out of here, I'm going to go play for the Mets, and that just really got to my heart, you know, teared me up almost, and that was awesome. That whole experience was.
We've loved watching you compete. Keep up with the good work. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, back to you.
Good stuff. 6 feet 9 inches on the mound, and Ben Jordan out of Olive Hill, Kentucky. Plays for the Kentucky Baseball Club. Tyler Freeman with a base hit there out of Rancho Cucamonga, California, Etiwanda High School. As that change of pace is swung on and missed by Nick Allen. Well, there he is, Ben. He is 6'9". Mom is Stephanie. Dad is Kevin. This is the 13th time David Perfect Game has scouted him in an event. 6'9", though. There's a little bit of twitch and hitch in that delivery. Almost looks like he's about to stop, and then he goes home.
Yeah, that pause is there. I don't know what a pitching coach at the next level is going to necessarily do with that. When I'm looking at Ben Jordan, I'm cheating over on your TrackMan right here to see the release. If you're 6'9", you should be getting way out towards home plate on your release. And TrackMan showing about, let's see what on that, 6'7", so 6 feet 7 inches. That's fair, but I would expect a 6'9" pitcher to get farther out towards home plate, and that's going to add velocity to his pitches. So not really over the front side. There's something he can probably work on a bit at the next level, but you have that built-in advantage at 6'9" if you can coordinate your delivery, you know, as a tall right-handed pitcher.
Freeman off the bag at first. And arm angle dropped a little bit low. That one sails high.
And of course, that's a big challenge for a 6'9" pitcher, is being able to repeat your delivery. And I've seen Jordan repeat it many times. He's probably a little hyped up now. He's been up in the mid-90s before. It's not consistent yet, though. Also throws a nice curveball.
You saw, though, he in past, according to TrackMan, has gotten good extension. So maybe it's just a situation. You see that 7-7.
Yeah.
So Dave Valley, that just means, simply put, it's closer to you.
Well, and I think with you guys mentioned it, 6 foot as the lights go off here.
Oh, the lights go down.
Wow.
Lights have gone down here at Petco Park. And so, let's see, looking around the neighborhoods, power all right. Looking at some of the great hotels and the banks in the area, some of the condos. Lights look okay in those areas. And there they are. Boy, that was that quick.
A mere flip of the switch.
There are timeouts in baseball.
We were talking about Big Ben and the big frame. Oftentimes, guys with that type of stature do take a little bit longer to get their mechanics where they can repeat it once after another after another. Having caught Randy Johnson, it took Randy Johnson a number of years. He came to Seattle in 1989, but by 1993 he became one of the top pitchers of the game of baseball. And he was 6'10".
Yeah. And that little bit of hesitation is drives the ball to the right side.
Nick Allen, baby. Nick Allen with another base hit. Look at the instincts. Just follows it all the way around, but out at third. Out at third, and a beautiful job with the gun there. That one unleashed from right field from Jacobson, right on the mark. Outstanding. They love Nick Allen with the base hit. Who doesn't? He doesn't have a big head, though.
Yeah, he goes opposite field again, just like he did first thing. But here's the throw. Yeah, here, this is the play here, not Nick Allen. That's Kyle Jacobson. You know, perfect one-hop throw. That's the only throw that could have got the base runner there.
I like the fact that they were trying to go first to third right here. Push the envelope. You've got a big lead, 10-0. And again, Nick Allen with that good base running instincts ends up at second base.
1-0 the count as that pitch sails into Royce Lewis. Nick Allen grounded out to third, singled in a run, has walked, and then another single. He's got a pair of hits, a spectacular play. Perfect game All-American Classic into right center field. Off the end of the bat, it hangs up for a long time, and it travels. Look at the wheels. Here goes Royce Lewis flying on around the base pads. It's kicked around for just a moment. They will stop Lewis at third. A triple.
And Royce Lewis having himself quite a night as well. And I can tell you, third base coach Eddie Johnson, he had thoughts of sending him home on that. If there'd been any hesitation by the cutoff man, he was coming all the way around because he hit it to the pretty much the farthest away part in the ballpark. And with plus speed, that's potential inside the park.
There's a
material.
fastball up and out over the plate, and he just laces it into the right center field gap. Great approach right there.
Swing and a miss, 0-1 the count. Exit velocity of 95.3 miles an hour. A launch angle of 20.9. And a bat speed, thank you, Zepp, of 88 miles an hour. There are all the metrics married together. And when you put all those good, strong metrics together, simply put for you old school baseball folks, you got a smoked double in the gap. How's that?
I could just hear all the old school guys going, I could have told you that.
See?
But it is nice to know and put a number on it to have that type of measurement. And I don't think it's going away anytime soon.
Well, getting back to Ben Jordan and his delivery, in that scouting we talked about, it listed a smooth delivery. And I think that pause that we mentioned before, right before he's gathering on the mound, I think that's something new. And I can see a pitching coach telling him, encouraging him to stay back, and it's developed that pause. And I think it's something that to be quite honest, has disrupted his normal consistency and pitching rhythm, and something he's going to have to work through, as he matures as a pitcher.
You liken him to John Roush. I covered John Roush, the tallest fella.
Well, there aren't too many comps for 6'9" right-handed pitchers, so you're working with a small group to begin with.
Bouncing ball. This is a long throw from deep short. De La Torre just a little bit off the mark. Fuller, nice job backing up, but that throw a little bit high, and a nice job hustling the back up by Williams. Another run crosses the plate. Connor Usselton keeps his wheels moving as he goes all the way around into second. So Usselton is on.
Sharp ground ball to the backhand right here. Tries to put a little extra on it, but it looks like Fuller stretches straight ahead a little bit too early. Sometimes first baseman, you have to wait a little bit, read the ball, and then step to the ball. Looked like Fuller stretched straight towards the shortstop.
And in all fairness to Terry Fuller, he is a primary outfielder. I don't know how much experience he has at first base. Sometimes roster necessities will, cause players to play out of position. I believe that's the case with Terry Fuller. But De La Torre, he had the strongest infield arm at the Perfect Game National, registered 94 in the radar gun during infield drills. So the arm is there.
The home run of the game is presented by Rawlings, and it belongs to Hunter Greene, the winner of the Perfect Game Home Run Challenge. And a big day yesterday at the University of San Diego. Ken Griffey Jr. presents him with the hardware. The kid, the Hall of Famer, a guest and a motivational speaker yesterday to all of the Perfect Game All-Americans. Greene can run. De La Torre another chance. His throw into the seats that time. And so a tough break there for the young, talented shortstop. As Ricardo De La Torre, young man out of Juan Diaz in Puerto Rico. He has a great spirit with Delvin Perez, picked 23rd by the Cardinals, Perfect Game All-American last year.
I think De La Torre is going to learn as he goes by. Yes, he's got that great arm, but you don't always have to throw it 100% of the time. You want that good, quick release, accurate throw. It's nice to know that you've got the gun when you need it, but you don't always need the 100%.
There's some good action on that changeup as it dives down and away. Spin rate low. That's what you want for a pitch like that. Below 2,000, 1930. Calvin Mitchell. 1 ball and 1 strike the count on Calvin Mitchell. Mitchell talks about players that he looks up to, and he goes back a little bit. Good guys. Mike Sweeney, you remember the personality he had for so long, the leadership with the Royals, and Dave Stewart. Tight breaking ball grabs the inside corner. 1-2 the count. Stu with the glare. General manager for the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's who Calvin looks up to. He is a USD commit, the University of San Diego. Hunter takes off. The step off, the tag, and Hunter is out at third. Just took a chance.
Yeah, and I think some of the regular unwritten rules of baseball do not apply in an All-American game like this. The young men are trying to show off what they can do and play baseball. And yes, the score is 13-0, but I don't think those, you won't steal or even behind. I wouldn't be surprised to see the East team continue to play aggressively on the bases when their turn comes. It's just in the nature of these players, and it's in the nature of an all-star game.
Steven Williams putting his nose on that one behind home plate. And a nice job blocking it up, the catcher. Seen him quite a bit at perfect game events. Change gets a swing and a miss. Came back with a good one. Good pitch calling there by Williams. Great execution. 6 feet 9 inches tall, Ben Jordan. Pitches for Premier Baseball Futures, and we saw him touch 92 miles an hour at the National Showcase, live 90-92. Slider and a changeup. Shane Baz, the number 6 right-handed pitcher in the United States, David.
I think we're going to see more than 92 tonight, to be quite honest. But the pitch I'm looking for is literally in the last 2 months, he's developed a cutter that he throws 85 to 87, 88. And it's been a very, very nice pitch for him. But he's a guy I wouldn't be surprised, with his arm strength, with his long, loose arm action, to hit a 95 or a 96 tonight. His focus needs to be really on using that fastball. He gets very, very involved in mixing all his pitches and everything. But as we were talking about between innings once, Val and I, that 95 fastball is a pretty darn good pitch to have in your repertoire. And right there, 94 for a strike, doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, I think the sooner these young pitchers can start to understand that the best pitch in baseball is a well-placed fastball. So once you get that command there, then you can start doing some things. Once you start from working ahead. And as you mentioned, that the first pitch from Baz right there, I like that. Down and away for a strike. Not a lot of hitters can do much with that pitch.
Opportunity for Luis Campusano to hit. He singled back in the second inning. As that one dives down and away from Baz.
Nice little tight slider right there as well.
Shane, a member of the 40-man roster for the USA team, as that hat flies off and the fastball at 92 is up and away, and those blonde locks are exposed.
He's got lots of them.
And Shane is an excitable young man. He's occasionally had some struggles in the first inning of games, going out there just being too overamped. And you can understand on this stage being overamped. But back in the strike zone, and
you were talking about some comps, David Ronsley. Here we go. Corey Kluber.
Well, aside from the different hair, Kluber, of course, he's from Texas. Strong arm, good variety of breaking pitches, and a solid comp as you see Baz moving forward and filling out like the great Indians right-hander.
He looks, I think, more like Noah Syndergaard, another fellow Texan, right? Big, long, flowing hair, Thor.
And minus about 100 pounds. 75 pounds.
Chance for Cash Case. High fly ball down the left field line. It's a long run out there for Pearson, and he runs out of space. Case, just a blue-collar baseball player, a very hard worker. He's a Notre Dame commit. Mount Dora, Florida. He goes to First Academy, where he's well above a 4.5 student. Cash worked hard. He has a great family history with regard to his game. His dad, Garrick, has been involved in baseball at many levels. Games of catch with Bob Feller and words of wisdom from Stan Musial, and he's only heading into his senior year of high school. There's so many good things to say about the young man, Cash Case.
Well, as Cash Case, the baseball player, has had a great summer and really worked his way onto this All-American team. He's shown a lot of left-handed power, and he's shown it in games. national showcase and other events as well. And he's just a young man you root for. He's not a tooled up Hunter Greene or Jordan Adele. He's a baseball player who's taking advantage of his tool, every one of those tools, and working hard at it.
Case has grown. You and your scouting department with Perfect Game give a rating, 10 being the highest. In the last 3 years, he's gone from 8.5 to 9 to 10.
Yeah, and that's a progression you always like to see on any type of player. And I think in Case's case, it's working hard. It's just getting better at every phase of the game, and that hard work is what does it for him.
I guess, Dave Valley, you hear all that talk. That's how you want a guy like a scout to be talking about you.
No question about it. You know, you look at the skill set, and then, okay, as a player, what do I need to do to improve each part of my game? And it sounds like Mr. Case right here has been working on the little things to make himself a solid college player and potential drafted player.
He went to Montverde Academy for a brief time before moving over to the First Academy. He, of course, there with Francisco Lindor, had a chance to work out with a former PG All-American. So there have been a lot of brushes with greatness, and he listens when he has those chances. Chases a nasty changeup. My goodness, that one dives down and away. Look, I know the metrics on that one. We've been talking about Zepp and the smart bat tonight, and also TrackMan and the metrics as well. So far, what we have seen, thanks to our friends from TrackMan, exit velocity, Hunter Greene over 100 miles an hour, 105. Pitching velocity, Hunter Greene. Spin rate, Blaine Enlow. We talked about that high spin of the breaking ball. We thank TrackMan for those numbers. No surprise, huh?
I don't think there's any surprises whatsoever in that, but you just get the perspective of Hunter Greene being first in two very different categories on those TrackMan lists.
That one skips in there. Case goes down on a net. By the way, I called that a changeup. What was that, a changeup? A slider valve that he got on top of?
It was a backdoor slider.
So he just got on top of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Goodness gracious. There's a lot of violence in that delivery.
Sometimes there's a lot of. You don't see it every pitch though from him. He's throwing different pitches. He's out there. He's an emotional kid. You know, I'm not sure he even knows what he's going to do before he releases the ball sometimes.
Ricardo De La Torre fouls that one off. Big Shane Baz, I should say.
Good balance at the top right there. But he does. He gives it everything as he's coming down. As that arm angle is coming down towards home plate, you can see the arm action from the big, strong right-hander.
Premier Baseball Futures team is his team. Sinks low, 3-1.
And I think one of the reasons he's able to get away with that in the deliveries, he's a very, very good athlete. We've seen him hit some long home runs over the years. He likes playing in the field. He does so a lot. And if you let him hit in this game, I guarantee he'd be at the bat rack real quick, trying to get one of those rolling Zepp bats and get to the plate.
Overthrew a breaking ball at his high. Talking about Baz and his family, Tammy, his mom Tammy, he talked to us about how grateful he is. His mom Tammy winning a battle with breast cancer. Dad Raj, very spirited, passionate man, is 100% Lebanese, and looks like he'd be a bouncer somewhere. Dad is big and strong, but a wonderful family to be around. From Cypress, Texas. 3 times he's been an all-state player at Concordia Lutheran. He dipped out of our graphic there. Alex Toral back to his spot in the order. Miami commit. I've been watching him for years.
I may have seen him play before I saw even Nick Allen play back in the 8th grade, but he's been a very prominent player on the circuit from that age. He matured early physically, and he's just always been able to hit. He's played two age groups above, you know, for a lot of the time for elite squad, and has really been a prominent member of that class ever since we started ranking the 2017 class.
Wags that bat back and forth. Explosive hand speed when he rips it through the zone. Oh, nasty bender, 12-6 on a curveball there to Alex Toral.
Yeah, and the thing I love about Terrell is the way he uses his lower half in his swing. He doesn't get to do it here. That's a beautiful breaking ball. But Terrell uses his hips and his back leg so well to generate bat speed. It's going to be something that stays with him throughout his career, and it's really fun as a scout and somebody who appreciates hitting to watch.
Choked up with 2 strikes. Look at that. About 3 inches up the bat. Hits it hard into right field. A lot of little things to talk about there. A well-struck baseball, exit velocity at 98.2 miles an hour. But with 2 strikes, Dave Valley, he choked up. This is a big, strong power hitter. He choked up and was rewarded.
You don't often see that from most modern players right now, but he shortens up, as you mentioned. Look at that. He's choking up about 1.5 inches right there. He just wants to take the barrel of the bat to the ball. With 2 strikes, he's giving in, and he ends up hitting a laced single to right field. I like seeing those adjustments from a hitter throughout the course of an at-bat.
We see Kyle Jacobson hit now. Number 20 in that jersey, right-handed hitter, middle of the box. Backup slider grabbed the inside corner. Jacobson, seen him at 24 events, David. He's being scouted for the 23rd time tonight out of Ackworth, Georgia. Alatoona High School, a great program. Keith Hansen, the head coach there, and he plays for the East Cobb Yankees, East Cobb baseball. High bouncing ball out to third. On across. Big strong arm there. Ryan Valade, he shows it off. Shane Baz, there was some wickedness in that delivery and some explosive stuff as well. And when the hat came off, there's a lot of blonde hair, wasn't there? 13-0 West on top.
2. Gotta love it. Take it away.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. He is all those things, Runes. I mean, you really kind of teed me up there to bury you, but I'll just move along.
Yeah, that
right
was just
there.
too easy.
I mean, you're not setting the bar real high. None of us are.
That's true.
Good stuff. We love Usselton, and it's going to be interesting to watch his journey. Nick Storrs. And that one driven to center field off the bat of Cole Turney, drifting over. Jonathan Rodriguez makes the play for the out there. Rodriguez puts that one away. So big Nick Storrs out of Brooklyn, New York. Mom Tammy, dad is Richard out of Poly Prep. Poly Prep plays for Team Elite. He's got big power as well. He was going to be a college football defensive end or maybe a tight end, but instead he's going to be a pitcher at LSU if he makes it there.
Yeah, I think Nick Storrs' first name actually is Big, because you can't say Nick Storrs without saying Big Nick Storrs, big fastball, big power, and that kind of thing. 6'6", 245. But one of the most improved players in the country this summer. He's made adjustments with his delivery that have really got him up over the rubber well, moved his velocity from the 88-92 range. The last 3 times I've seen him, it's more 92-95, and has a power slider to go with it that's been a very effective pitch for him.
One of the things I love is that he's from Brooklyn.
Belted. Center field, Jacob Pearson. He's thrown strikes, and the aggressive swings of the West batters have paid off. He is from Brooklyn. There's a lot in his bio, Val, that just you would love it all. He volunteers over with some of the little leaguers and some that are in need on Staten Island. He goes over there and does that. He loves Christmas in New York so much that he thinks about Christmas, as he told us, in July. So there's a lot of New York in this young man.
Well, there is nothing quite like Christmas in New York, Rockefeller Center, but it's great to see some young athletes coming out of New York. You know, typically in my involvement with a lot of these premier games that Perfect Game has put on, you see a lot of kids from the South, right? Because for me, my senior year, I think we played 21 games and we were New York City champions. So that's not a big, long season. So you don't see a lot of baseball players getting developed out of New York. So we've got Quentin Holmes out there in center field. He chimed in with a solid base hit here this evening. And now big Nick Storrs.
And a lot of times you think of a player like Nick Storrs at that size and that physical maturity, and you think, oh, he's maxed out. But that's where you see, I mentioned the fun things with he's done to his delivery, and he's going to have a fairly simple inning if Rodriguez can get under this, which he does. But he's really progressed this summer, and you love to see that in a young athlete, especially a physically mature one.
First name Big, middle name Nick, last name Storrs. Yeah, stretching legs. David Ronsi, Perfect Games Vice President of Player Personnel. So we throw the score out, right, David? I mean, you were watching these young men play, and I think there's a lot of spectacular things to talk about. One of them is a man who's moved to play second base now. Nick Allen played short all night. Nick Allen has been a shining star in this game.
Oh, no doubt about it. And this is something I think scouts have gotten so used to. You ask people about, is he big enough to play? And I think he's sold the scouts on it, even at his size, and they're just seeing more of it tonight.
Well, certainly his heart is big enough to play. He has been really impressive to me. And oftentimes it just takes to watch a player one time, and you think he could play for me. And that young man right there, he could play for me, no question about it.
Seth Corey is on the bump in the middle of the diamond out of Cedar Hills, Utah. Plays for the Utah Marshals, his travel team, Lone Park High School. Seth is a pitcher as he fires that one to the backstop against Jonathan Rodriguez out of Puerto Rico. Seth is a pitcher that has not been seen much on the showcase circuit.
And Dave, you can probably address this. Seth was a very high-level football player and had to undergo ACL surgery this past fall. And he just, when we saw him at the Perfect Game National, he was just getting back into shape. So Scott, he's been building his resume this summer. It's been an impressive resume. But a young man who I don't think is going to be playing football next fall.
Yeah, sometimes with the ACL, depending on what knee it is, if you're a pitcher, it could have a little bit of an impact on your recovery and also your success early coming back on the mound.
In fact, I admit I do not know which knee it is. I'm looking at he wears the socks up in the old style, and I'm thinking if he had a knee brace on, we could see that. But I don't really see any evidence of a knee brace there.
Well, it's good to see the young man back, though, out on the mound, pitching here at the Perfect Game Classic.
Another opportunity for Cash K. Struck out back an inning ago. Breaking ball sails high. 1-1 the count to Cash. Seth, the BYU commit, you saw that on the graphic a moment ago. Leanna and Dellen, mom and dad. He was a heck of a football player. His team went 13-1 last year, Lone Peak High School. Good safety. All state in that great sport. Bouncing ball to the bag. It's a tag play. That tag is made. He moved over to play shortstop. Tyler Freeman. He and Nick Allen switched spots. That's a nice play by Freeman. As Jake Gonzalez shot it on over to him.
Also a nice play by Jake Gonzalez, who much like Terry Fuller does not have a lot of experience at first base, but he knew right what to do there. Threw around the runner. Double play.
Good instincts right here. Watch as he just steps on the bag. Now, if he had a little bit more experience, you saw the runner was running on the grass. Typically, if you had a little bit of time, which I think he may have had right there, you take a little extra step inside so you have a better angle towards second base.
El Toro High School's Mike Gonzalez, the head coach of the West squad, goes out. Some pitchers that have to see action in this game. We'll introduce you one after another. Corey is done.
Whether it's defensively or running the bases, just you can tell he knows what he's doing, and he's very aware of what's happening out there on the baseball field.
They're fighting to get up there and hit. Look at him standing up there. Ryan Valet. They also want to get a look at Logan Allen, who we have seen, and you have seen, David, an increase in velocity over the last couple of years. Pitches for Florida Travel Baseball, FTB. And young man out of Deltona, Florida, University High School. Frank Martello, his head coach.
Yeah, and you see a lot of pitchers very similar to Logan Allen in the big leagues. They're not number one, number two starters usually, but he's a young man who has got great command of his fastball. He throws multiple breaking balls for strikes, and he really has the ability to think through what the hitter is looking for and throw him something different. We were talking about MacKenzie Gore's stats in high school. Logan Allen, 1 earned run in 61 innings this spring. Just mismatches high school hitters.
Wow. He's a Florida international commit. He will play for MJ Melendez's dad should he make it to college. 2-2 to Ryan Valet. Ryan walked Swiped a bag last time up. He wags that bat actively. He takes strike 3 over the outside corner. And you see that good stuff.
Yeah, he threw that pitch exactly where he wanted to, and he does it with his other pitch as well. And here's a great graphic here. We're talking about the release point on a pitcher, and you look at the 3 different types of pitches: the fastball, the curveball, and the changeup. And Logan Allen essentially releases them from the exact same spot. And for a hitter, Val, that really disguises the pitches.
Yeah, it becomes very deceptive if everything is coming out of that one same release point, and that's what good pitchers do. They are able to repeat their delivery. So if I'm seeing both a fastball, a curveball, and a slider and a changeup coming out of that same slot, it's really difficult to decipher, okay, which one is it until it's halfway there.
Jacob Gonzalez sees the count even up to 1-1. Singled in a pair back in the second inning. The pride of Chaparral High School, a Firebird. He was also hit by a pitch and scored a run. Sam Messina, his head coach, and hovering around a 4.0 high school GPA, 3.96 high school GPA for Jacob. And did we mention earlier, by the way, Gonzo, obviously dad, mom Christine, certainly very, very important part of the family. And right over head shoulders there, Alyssa and Megan. Jacob is one of a triplets set. There are 3 of them and 2 sisters. I would imagine his say on this guy's trip goes way down, but when he's in the house, shh, you have 2 sisters. You better be respectful.
Well, I'm sure his 2 sisters are getting some protection from their brother as well.
Breaking ball. Did he swing at a pitch that hit him there?
I believe so. I think you could see the look on his face after he realized what he did.
He swung at a pitch that hit him, which says a couple things. Number 1, you don't want to do that, but number 2, that's a wicked pitch.
Had a lot of bite to it. That ball ends up hitting him on the right thigh.
Well, that is a wicked breaking ball. My goodness.
I have a feeling Gonzo may not let him get away with that one. He's going to hear about that.
He may hear about it from his sisters.
Come on now, the brother of me wants to respond to what you just said there, David Ronsley. I don't want to get in trouble with the Gonzalez house, but it's a very simple response. Just grab a bat, guys. I mean, come on now.
I didn't have sisters, so I didn't have to go through that.
Freeman, high bouncing ball to the right side, charging and making the play in time for the out. That's Floridian Cash Case. We roll along. It's a 13-0 lead, 3 outs, and a celebration for the gentleman on the west. We may even see 2 pitchers next inning.
I'm watching a love for baseball between father and son.
On the ball. Attaboy, good job. Right over the top, right over the ear.
One day he was 10. The next he was 17. Showcasing his skills. This is Perfect Game.
We've seen his big bat in professional baseball. Colby Allard will get there soon, a very talented left arm in the Atlanta Braves organization. Speaking of talented left arms, here's another big fella. David Ronsley, another. We had a 6'10 pitcher earlier in this game. And now we trot another one out there right up against 6'9", 6'10". His name is Mitchell Stone out of Edmond, Oklahoma, where he pitches at Deer Creek High School.
Oh, yeah. He's been measured at 6'10 this summer, and he's every bit of it. Size 15 feet. I was walking down the hallway with him at the hotel the other day, but what marks him as a pitcher, I would anticipate that he's going to throw a lot of strikes. He has a delivery that he controls very well. He's an above-average athlete for his size, and he has a history as a strike thrower.
I like him already.
Breaking ball, pretty good when he grabs the outside corner. To Mark Vientos out of Pembroke Pines, Florida. Charles W. Flanagan High School, and plays for the elite squad. Richie Palmer does a great job with that elite squad. As that one is high and away to Mark Vientos. Good basketball player, very good athlete as well. Vientos throwing 90 across the infield. The national showcase, he had good bat speed. We've been talking about ZEP numbers, almost 98 miles an hour, top 8% at the national showcase as well.
And something needs to be pointed out about Vientos. He is the youngest player in this game. He won't turn 17 years old until December. and you know he should be a 2018 by age. He's playing up, and the tools are obvious.
He's a Miami commit. Fastball, fly ball, well struck right field. But there to make the play and put it away is the Texan Cole Turney for the first out of the inning. So Vientos, mom is Kathy, dad is Charles, and the Miami commit. Mitchell Stone, it's just kind of easy. That curveball's heavy.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And the thing that Stone has done over the last 2 years, he throws easy like that. It's been a slow creep up with his velocity. He's throwing 91, 92 right now. But about a year ago, he was an 86, 88 guy, and earlier this summer he was touching 90, and you can just see him every month almost improving. And I think there's a lot more in there because he does throw very easy.
Tim Elko with the fastball elevated up in the zone. Elko, really good student, really involved at Hillsborough High School, has put in 200 creative, active, and service hours. Works in the inner cities of Tampa, helping out to paint houses, gives back a lot. In the IB program as well. First couple of years was a soccer player in high school. Fastball, 91 again, just boring in on the right-handed hitter, and Tim Elko. Ole Miss commit. There's a lot of Tim there. I mean, he's 6'4", 225, and it's strong and athletic. There's that breaking ball. What do you like about Tim Elko?
Tim Elko is one of the most consistent performers on the summer circuit when he's facing really good pitching. He doesn't try to do too much. You won't see him over swinging, and that strength gives him big power to the middle of the field. And every game he rises to the challenge. He's a clutch hitter. When you throw him inside like that, though, as I mentioned last at bat, he likes getting his arms extended. Mitchell Stone didn't let him do that.
That was good looking stuff. A fastball over the inside corner. TrackMan top exit velocities tonight. You see Jason Gonzalez looking on from the dugout. Hunter Greene standing next to him. That's 1 and 2. Greene, by the way, the 8 on his jersey. Gonzalez standing next to him on his right. Garrett Mitchell, the right fielder out of Orange Lutheran, and Texan Cole Turney, TrackMan's top exit velocities tonight. So some of the fabulous numbers. Good stuff. Their brand of baseball, the E Squad as well. These players tonight, David Ronsley, on this stage had a chance to really showcase their talents. West dominating, some special players, Nick Allen atop that list. But one and all, again, they come all this way. It's a brief snapshot to do your thing and a fun game to watch.
And it's a fun game. I wish it had been a 7-6 ball game if they're going to score 13 runs. But that's the way baseball is. It doesn't means on today the West players were better. I think we play tomorrow, you'd see a different result. But this is a very talented class, and we got to see that today. We got to see it on the mound. We got to see it with the speed and athleticism. And it really is an above-average class of talent.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about with the talent that I saw out here, starting with some of the big pitchers, the big arms. You talked about the speed. I was just blown away by the athleticism that both of these teams displayed. And the bats, I was very impressed with the bats, from the home run derby to batting practice to watching these young men get after it during this ball game tonight. Basically, I come away with this saying the future of baseball is looking really good, guys.
And there's simple little things, guys. And David, there's Hunter Greene, who can play short and played short, who can hit the ball with some explosion and won the home run derby, who can pitch and threw into the 90s. Best exit velocity, best throwing velocity. A guy like Hunter Greene didn't hurt himself at all.
No, he didn't hurt. I don't think anybody hurts themselves in these games. You're in a position to help yourself. And Hunter Greene was able to go out and show the entire country that he is one of the future faces of baseball, and it's going to be fun to watch him develop further, along with a lot of his teammates as well.
And what position will he end up at? Will he be a pitcher? Will he be a shortstop? Or will he be a right fielder?
Royce Lewis, the MVP of this game. He's standing by with Mike Rooney and our host, Trevor Hoffman. Guys, go for it.
Thank you very much. I'm here with honorary chairman Trevor Hoffman and the game MVP, Royce Lewis.
Congratulations, Royce. 2016 All-American Classic. Well done, man.
So Royce, we're going to get video bombed here for sure, but try and stay with me. You know, you make a big name for yourself at J. Sarah High School, a great program. This summer you get on the national scene and just continue to do that. In this kind of being one of the capper events, tell me what you're feeling right now.
I was really excited. I was going out there and having fun and playing my game, and I felt like I did that.
Talk about one of the great things this weekend is the relationships. These guys, this is the very best baseball players in the country, the guys that you guys are the future of the game. What's that been like to develop these relationships? All right. Royce, come here. Tell me about these guys. Is there anything better than that ice bath you just took?
Oh, no, not at all. I loved it, every single moment of it. These guys are my best friends, and I love them all.
And the future of the game is bright. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, Darren, back up to you guys.
And that kind of sums it up, Dave Valley. A lot of them have known one another through playing on all-star games and travel circuits, and that is a fun moment when you have that ice dumped on you. But I think the fun thing about this just popped into my head. I think you can learn from your talented peers when you're kind of embedded with one another. This, to me, is a week of learning.
Well, and the relationships that they build. You know, you kind of go back to your own teenage years. The guys that you were playing baseball with, for me, are still some of my best friends. And I think the guys that are developing these relationships here, they're going to be playing against each other in college. Some of them will go straight to pro ball and play against each other, but they will become lifelong friends because of the experiences that Perfect Game has given them.
So a big win, 13-0 the score. You could have gone in a lot of directions with your most valuable player, Royce Lewis. Nick Allen had a big night, had a spectacular job. There is slick Nick Allen and the job he did. David, a lot of guys, I think you said it best when you said that you really can only up your stock in a game like this, and several guys did it. And I think the best part about it for a Perfect Game, for Jerry Ford, the founder, and guys like you who put in so many hours at showcases and at tournaments, you pull for guys to do their best, and the nation now sees the preview of the 17 draft.
Oh, yeah, you always root for the players, Darren, and that's really the most fun part about this job, what Perfect Game does, what scouts do, is it turns a new chapter every year. We get to see the Royce Lewises and Hunter Greenes and Nick Allens, who are the future of baseball. Next year at the All-American Classic, we'll be seeing another 52 different players, and it'll be just as fun rooting for them as the future of baseball.
Don't forget September 4th, the 14U very best, the Perfect Game Baseball Festival at JetBlue Park, streaming live on MLB.com. The same level of player at 14U. California.